Hello, Internet. So today is, so bad. Okay, just what's up, everybody? Today, I want to talk about breast cancer, and I kind of want to break it down a little bit. We all know someone who was just diagnosed with breast cancer, or has breast cancer, or has passed away from breast cancer. One of the biggest questions or confusions, I guess, that people get is that breast cancer is all the same. That is not true. That people think that when you get diagnosed with breast cancer, that it's the same thing as your cousin getting diagnosed with breast cancer. It's not. Each case of breast cancer is very individualized to that person. And I know that sounds crazy. So first, I just want to talk about there are five main types of breast cancer. You have your invasive ductal carcinoma, you have your invasive lobular carcinoma, you have your DCIS in stew, which is ductal sarcoma in stew. Now, in stew means that it hasn't started to grow. Sorry, I'm like referring to my paper over here, just because I want to make sure I kind of got the stuff right. But it in stew means that it hasn't started to grow. So you have your DCIS, and then you have your LCIS, which is lobular. So you have ductal, lobular, and then the last is the rarest, is inflammatory breast cancer. That is what I have. I have stage 4 inflammatory breast cancer. So once you are diagnosed, they will tell you one of those types of cancer that you have. That pretty much just means where it started. Okay, and then the second thing they go to is they want to find out your ER/PR, which is estrogen and progesterone, which is hormones that females make. And then there's also another hormone called HER2. And so they need to find the status of your HER2, which is also like hormone type thing. So my particular case, I'm ER/PR negative. So that means my cancer is not driven from hormones that women make, like estrogen and things like that. So mine is negative, but my HER2 status is positive. Now, what it means for having the HER2 status, it just means that there's different, like, okay, I don't really know how to explain it. It's more aggressive, I guess. It needs different type of medicines to attach to those particular cells, I guess, is an easy way to explain it. So first you'll get your diagnosis of what type of breast cancer you have. Second, you'll get your hormone information. Third, you're going to talk about the staging. Now, when it comes to staging for breast cancer, there are 5 stages: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, stage 0 usually means that it's like DCIS or LCIS, which what I talked about previously is the invasive ductal or invasive lobular carcinoma, which carcinoma in short means cancer. So that's what 0 means. 0 means it's in stew still and it's non-invasive. It hasn't really spread anywhere. Then you have stage 1. Stage 1 means that it has started to break outside of the tumor area. Then you move on to stage 2, which means that it has spread out a little more than the tumor area into surrounding tissues in the breast and possibly to the lymph node affected on the same side. So like mine was on the right side. And then, you know, it could have went into lymph nodes in my right armpit, because that's usually the closest lymph nodes is to your armpit. Okay, then you have stage 3. Stage 3 means that usually, because, well, okay, let me go back to stage 2. Stage 2, you could possibly still have it in your lymph nodes. There's a lot to go along with like these stages because it's so confusing. I'm just trying to break it down the best I can. Because when you have stage 2, you could have stage 2A or stage 2B. And that sounds crazy, and I'm not going to go into that like part because that's very particular and very decisive onto that person themselves. So I'm just doing the gist of it. Same thing with stage 3. When you move on to stage 3, that means you have 4 to 9 lymph nodes that have cancer in them somewhere. Usually in your axilla lymph nodes. It means it has spread outside of the tissue, and it's kind of just growing rapidly and all of that. Then you have stage 4, which is the last stage of breast cancer. Now, just because you have stage 4, like myself, does not mean that it's a death sentence. I have been living with stage 4 breast cancer, metastatic, for 3 years now. Luckily, I have great doctors and great chemotherapy and everything I need on board to help me live my life to the fullest. So now what stage 4 means, stage 4 means that your cancer has spread elsewhere in your body, not just to lymph nodes. It means it has spread to your skin, it has spread to your bones, it has spread to your liver, it's in your organs. Now it could just be in one of those places, and you will be considered stage 4. So, you know, again, with stage 4 you have your different types. So that's a little bit on the stages. So then another thing that goes along with staging is you're going to kind of talk about the grade. The grade pretty much means how aggressive the tumor is itself, and you have grades 1 through 3. Obviously those are, 1 being the lowest, slowest growing cancer, and 3 being the most aggressive, fast growing cancer. Mine is 3. And then this is where it gets really confusing. You have something called a TNM. Okay, everyone has this. Even if you think you don't have it, you have it. T stands for tumor, N stands for nodes, and M stands for mets. So you'll have a T and then a number, and then you'll have an N and then a number, and an M and then a number. Now, if there's an X next to any of these, that means they can't assess it. If there is a 1 next to any of these, that means there was no evidence that it has spread really. Pretty much it means in stew. Anywhere from 2 to 4 on some of these. M only goes to 1. It means if you have a 1 on M, you have distant mets somewhere. But for your tumor and your nodes, T and M, if it just means it's like based on the size of the tumor, your number, and then same thing for lymph nodes. I know that's super confusing. I don't really know how to explain it any other way than besides it's perfectly characteristic for you or the person who has breast cancer. Last thing would be treatment. Now, treatment I don't want to go into because treatment is so different for every single person. But what treatment includes is surgery, chemo, radiation, and then after that you have a preventative care. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of the beginning parts of breast cancer, I guess. I hope that I explained it all well for you all. Please share this video to help anyone else who is going through this, who might need a little bit of information. Also, feel free to contact me at any time. I'm always open to help anyone. My page here is called Join the Fight, One Step at a Time. So, but if you guys would like to hear this story from my first day of diagnosis, or I guess up to diagnosis and then to now, I'll go ahead and leave a comment down below and I will totally make that happen. But I hope that all of you have a blessed day, and again, reach out to me if you have any questions and or concerns about anything that is happening or going on in your life. So yeah, I hope that you all have an absolutely blessed day and a absolutely wonderful 2020.